Friends, good Sunday evening. Welcome back. So, I want you to think about something. One of the things I've been really just trying to stress and convey is most of the news is generic at best. And there's a lot of fake and misleading fake and misleading information as well in that. Okay? So we're getting all that. Now, remember, this is a classified investment, so we would have to expect that. You'd have to expect them. You'd have to expect two different types of news with this being a classified investment. The first one is for them to give you misleading information that makes it look like Iraq is unstable and they're not going to change the rate. And then the other one, that they don't give you enough detail to know when anything critical is going to happen. And so far, that's what we've experienced. For example, at the end of last year, they said they would be launching trade at the beginning of this year. Trade hasn't launched yet. They haven't. Trade hasn't launched at all. I've shown that to you guys from many different factual angles. Okay. Again, they're not telling you the truth. That when they reveal timeframes, that is one of the number one things they lie about, is when they say that they're going to do something. Most of the time when they say they're going to do something at a specific time period, they don't. They usually lie a few times first. That's what we're all experiencing and witnessing. The news is very misleading. It's generic at best. All we know with trade, it'll launch probably early this year, sometime in Q1, okay? After the rate changes, after the government's formed, okay? Now, I want you guys to think about something regarding these elections. Again, right now, I would not trust the news. They did say that Nuri al-Maliki is the top pick. Let's see if his foot gets through the door Tuesday. At the end of the day, if his foot does get through the door, that still might not stop them from revaluing the currency. At the end of the day, we don't care. We don't care who the prime minister is. We just care that the rate changes. But I want you guys to think about something. Did any of you guys know that Trump was going to send his boys into Venezuela and go after Maduro? None of us did. Here's what I'm trying to tell you. Trump's not an idiot. He's a very smart businessman. That's why he's a billionaire. Okay? Now think about that for a second. You didn't know he was going to go after Maduro in Venezuela. Do you think that both after 22 years of restoring stability with Iraq, that's right, after 22 years, that both the UN and the United States would leave the country of Iraq to just let all these hard efforts of achieving stability just fall right back down the toilet? No. Trump's not an idiot, nor is the UN. There's no way that neither the UN nor the U.S. would have left, withdrawing combat troops, vacating all the facilities, bases, turning that all back over to the government of Iraq, and declaring them a sovereign state. And here's another one for you right here in this article. The United Nations announces the transition of Iraq to the classification of security and stable countries. Guess what? The sanctions are going to come off with that right there. That'll get the sanctions off right there. When the rate changes, of course. But that's going to pull the sanctions right there. The UN has already lifted their sanctions. It's just Iraq that has, the United States. It just has OFAC sanctions on Iraq at this time. Okay? But this is a very powerful article. This is what I wanted to show you guys right here. Okay? We'll go through this in a second, but I wanted you to think about something. It's easy when many have been in this. I know I've got 17 years in this. There's people that have more time than I do. When many have been in this for so long, it's very easy to let this take its toll on you emotionally. But here's what I want you to realize. The more they lie to you, the closer you are to your blessing. It's that simple. Okay? And right now, again, I would be careful. I wouldn't put a lot of stock in the elections right now. I'm waiting until Tuesday to see what comes out. That, to me, that's my tell-all right there, is what happens Tuesday. Right now, I still just feel in my gut we don't have the real truth. We haven't really had the truth. They go back and look at everything they told you since December of last year. How much of that was going to come forward? Okay, they didn't launch trade at the beginning of the year. They can't. They don't have a tradable currency. Okay? There's a lot of things they haven't done. They haven't done the banking reforms. They haven't done the tax reforms. In fact, they've been saying in multiple articles that right now they're not implementing taxes. Okay. So I'm trying to get you guys to think about this from a different angle. You can't just because something came out on the news saying that Nuri al-Maliki is the top pick. Okay, was his foot in the door yet? Was he officially announced? We don't know. It's not Tuesday yet. That's the angle I want you to think about this. Right now, it's all status quo. They told us that the 26 budget would get approved with dinar at 1,300 dinar at that range. That's what the budget would be calculated off of, because budgets are calculated off the currency value, again, with dinar at 1,300. And again, that was never officially published on the CBI website. In order for something to be accurate, that's from that angle, I already showed you guys, it would have to be officially published on the CBI's website. I don't care if it came out in their news. Okay, and just for the record, Nuri al-Maliki owns some of their news outlets, by the way, in case you guys didn't know that. But anyway, yeah, it's be careful what you're believing right now. That's why I've been kind of stressing to you guys, right now is not the time to drink all their Kool-Aid. Let's be patient with this. Let's wait until Tuesday to see what really happens. That's going to give us a real accurate understanding of what happens on Tuesday. They might not even announce a PM. If they don't announce a PM, it's probably not Nuri al-Maliki. It's that simple. Okay? So again, let's be patient. Let's see what happens Tuesday. That's going to reveal more of the accurate truth in this to us, okay? Let's look at this article. This is a very good, telling article showing you that Iraq's literally, see, that's why I've been stressing to you guys, those of you that are new with me and have been new since December, okay? One of the things I've been stressing to you guys and trying to train you on is you have to watch more of their actions and what they do versus what they tell you. So again, the U.S. withdrew, vacated its bases, and pulled all of its combat troops. The UN exited, again, all of this after 22 years of working very hard with Iraq to achieve stability. The UN pulled all of it, or exited out, vacated all their facilities, turned them back over to Iraq, and both the UN and the U.S. have declared them a sovereign state. Now, Trump's not an idiot. Trump is a poker-playing businessman. Trump's not going to show you his hand. Do you think Trump was dumb enough to exit the U.S. out of Iraq, declaring them a sovereign state nation? To allow Nuri al-Maliki to become the prime minister and let the country go to hell and back again? I don't think so. Trump's not that dumb. Again, take the time to think this through. But I can tell you, being a news person that just chases the news many different times a day, hours per day, really taking the time to study and read the news that I do. Most of the news is misleading, and it's generic at best. They don't even give you enough detail on this to know exactly when things are going to happen, okay? They don't really give you enough detail to really know what's going to happen. That's why when you take the time to study this from more of their actions and what they do, you can gauge this better. Let's look at the key points of this article. Again, this is a very telling article showing you that they're literally right on the threshold of going international. The United Nations has officially upgraded Iraq's security status from classification E to B. This places Iraq among countries considered security stable by UN standards. And again, right there, security stable, I want you to think about something. Wasn't Savaya going to Iraq supposedly because they had all these, Iranian militias in their country? Yeah, they told you that. And again, many panicked from that, oh my gosh, Mark Savaya is going there because Iraq has Iranian militias. But right here in front of all of our faces, the UN's declaring Iraq security stable. Do you see what the examples I'm giving you? Why I would trust more stuff like this that comes out of the UN's mouth than Savaya going there, an article saying, oh, Savaya's got to go there to remove Iranian militias. No, Savaya's going there for the prevention of that. Okay, he's going there for the prevention and to put the correct steps and standards in place to prevent foreign militias, not to remove them. Okay, again, he's going there from the aspect of prevention, not from removal. But right here in front of everyone's face, the UN just declared Iraq as security stable. So again, be careful of what you trust and read in the news, because again, this is a classified investment. From the angle of the news, they want you to look at Iraq as an unstable nation again, as a distraction, like an unstable nation, to get you out of the investment, so you don't want to know, so you don't know, and you can't decipher the timing at which the rate's going to change, and the news is generic at best. Let's move on. The announcement followed by a meeting between Iraqi Interior Minister, the UN Assistant Secretary General for Operations Affairs. Discussions focused on security cooperation, logistical support, exchange of expertise between Iraq and UN missions. The UN praised Iraq's Interior Ministry for protecting UN missions, facilitating their operations, contributing directly to mission success. The UN official confirmed that Iraq has made remarkable progress in security. So they've been declared by the UN, of course, for making remarkable progress in security, but Savaya has to go there to remove foreign Iranian militias. Bullshit. Again, he's going there prevention, not for prevention aspect, not removal. The classification shift is one of the most important global indicators used by the UN to measure stability. Again, the US and UN vacated Iraq after 22 years, declaring them a sovereign nation. There's no way in hell these top world leaders would exit all of their personnel from Iraq after 22 years to let Nouri al-Maliki drive the country back into the ground. Think about that, okay? And does this have anything to do with Iraq going international? Yes, it is a foundation enabler of Iraq going international, even though it is not economic or financial by itself. Again, it's a foundation aspect of going international. Again, there's more in there for those of you that are on with me on Patreon. Check it out. Friends, you're the best. Have a great evening. Thanks again, and happy Sunday to you.